I think that obviously we go into this game off the back of some good results and with confidence, but against a very difficult team. But we're looking forward to the game tomorrow. We've trained well this morning. The players look focused and concentrated, and I feel as though, from our point of view and the coaching staff, that it's a game that we're ready for. But obviously we have to go out and play now. In terms of the league table, I didn't look at it too much a few weeks ago, and I don't look at it and pay too much attention to it now. We just need to concentrate on keep winning matches and keep performing well. And I feel as though that we're in a good moment, and that we need to be ready for this match tomorrow because we're playing against a good opponent. It's, believe it or not, before Christmas when I first came to the club, I mentioned this position to Soso about the fact that watching the videos before I arrived in the matches, that I felt as though he could play in this position. I think he has the qualities to play in this position. You may not remember, but he did play there against Barcelona for part of the game. It was a bit forgettable. I didn't know whether to mention that or not. But I think from that point of view, whether he plays there again tomorrow or not, I don't want to disclose my team. But I think he can play this position because I think he arrives well on the inside channel. And even when he plays on the wide position, I think he does sometimes like to come in, so it gives us another option. And I think on Thursday night we wanted to try him there and see how he did, and I thought he played really well in the game. No, the club, I've not had any discussions with the club about my contract. I know that there were some reports the other day, maybe originating from England, but be assured it's not come from me and it's not come from anybody at the club. I think the reality will be that I think we said February, March originally, but it's come a little bit quickly. I think we need to concentrate on the football. We have too many matches at this moment in time, and I think that maybe now it will be into April by the time I speak to the club. I think the international break is the end of March and then going into April. There is far too much to do at this moment in time on concentration on the upcoming matches to even think about a discussion from anybody's point of view. And my original terms are what they are, and the club haven't spoken to me, and there has been no contact at all. I can honestly assure you of that. I think in terms of Paco, we're a stronger coaching team. Like I said, I think when Paco came, it was something we were considering even as far back as Christmas, and it was a moment of timing. I think that the biggest change in the last couple of weeks has been that the victory against Espanyol has just given everybody incredible confidence. I think in terms of Paco's introduction, and I'll give you an example this morning. The warm-up and first 15 minutes are being done by exactly the same people, but in terms of the sort of tactical movements that I was doing specifically, the 15-20 minutes post the warm-up, that's now being done by Paco, and it's a lot smoother because obviously I have to have it translated at this moment in time by David, and that's something that on the training pitch isn't always as smooth as it should be. So I think in terms of the communication has been the biggest factor. I think in terms of making sure that on the training pitch things are delivered as quickly as possible. But I think it gives us another experienced person in the coaching staff. It was my wish that this happened, and it was something that I spoke to 2 or 3 people that I trust about before it happened, and Paco's settled in very well. The result against Espanyol meant that we were able to announce Paco's arrival in a better moment. And since then, obviously, we've won 3 matches as well. So it's a very good time. I feel as though we're a lot stronger coaching team. That Paco has come and it's been a smooth transition, really. That the people who were doing the jobs before are still doing the same jobs. The person who's doing something slightly different is me. In that, obviously, I speak with Paco before training about the exact movements we're going to do or that we would do. And then, obviously, the delivery and execution is done by him, which at this moment in time I'm very happy with because he's doing a good job. And the contract is, honestly, at this moment in time, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just purely thinking about... It's interesting. 3 weeks ago, the mood in here was a very different mood. You weren't asking me about my contract, and I don't feel it's respectful now to talk about my contract. Honestly, it isn't. I've got a lot more hard work to do at this football club, and I feel as though I don't feel any different now than I did 3-4 weeks ago when we weren't getting results. I really feel as though the quality of work we were doing then is good. I think the players' mood, you can see, is very good now. But we need to continue to keep going. We have 3 big matches this week, and I'm desperately wanting to do well in these matches to give the fans more good feelings and more good sensations. I hope the fans think that I'm an honest, hard-working person, like they are. That's all I want the fans to think of me, that Gary Neville gives his absolute best every single day for Valencia Football Club. That's all I want to be seen. I'm a football fan myself. And when I was a football fan growing up as a kid, all I ever wanted from my people who represented my badge was hard work, and that the players died on the pitch with effort, with character, with passion, and that the coach showed respect and honesty for the club, that he worked hard every single day to try and get the best performance out of the players. And that's all I would want the fans to think of me. I honestly know, I obviously recognise that results is a very results-orientated business. But even when I saw the fans after the Barcelona game 3 weeks ago, I hurt with them and I felt for them. But I also felt, and I think if you remember my answer after that game was, imagine these fans when we win matches. Imagine how good they will be. And that was my message to the players. We need to make sure that we see them in the positive. And you talk about the last 4 games that we've won. Honestly, the game against Espanyol was won by the players and the fans. It really was, because that was about character and commitment and the atmosphere in the stadium from minute 1 through to minute 90. When we went down in that game, the fans stayed with us. So I think that they contribute hugely to this football club. They are the most important people at this football club. My preference probably wasn't to play a Spanish team. Not that, obviously, in an open draw, you can play anybody. My preference probably wasn't to play a Spanish team, because obviously it's always like a derby when you do in Europe. But I think it's a good draw for both clubs. I think both clubs will feel as though it's a tie they can win in the Europa League. But our concentration at this moment has all got to be about La Liga and the game tomorrow. It's a good opponent. They have a good system of play. They press well. But we have to be prepared for what they have, and we have to be ready to play our football. I think that on Thursday night in Rapid Vienna, you saw a very, very good performance. And Granada and Espanyol, we've seen character and fight. Against Rapid Vienna, we've seen fantastic football. Tomorrow, the perfect combination is to see both. And we'll need those qualities tomorrow. But I think the players feel in a good moment and they feel confident, and I'm confident in the game. Well, that's an incredible question. Are the fans ready for a defeat? I don't think they are. I don't think we are either. No, we'll keep winning if that's all right. It's a lot more pleasant to be around when you're winning. I mean, football's always the same. And the reason that I never panicked or never felt down when we weren't getting the perfect results was that I played at a club for 20 years that every defeat was a disaster. And that's how I feel here. Every defeat would be a disaster. And I have the same expectations when I wear this badge. It's a fantastic football club, a great football club that should expect to win every single game. And I hurt badly when we don't win. So no, if it's okay with you, I'll prefer the winning rather than testing whether a loss will test the fans' patience. No, we want to keep winning. We want to keep playing well. We just have to prepare well. We've already shown the players this morning, as we always do, the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition, and obviously the strengths there that you mentioned. Obviously, the players are very much aware of them. It's something we do before every single game. We've done some specific tactical movements this morning and tactical planning and in training to try and deal with their strengths, but also punish the weaknesses that we believe they have. But it's like with every team. Every team has a specific strength. It's for us to be able to deal with those things. And you're right. They are very good when they cross the ball and they have good presence in the box. They're good from wide areas. But that's just one of the things we have to deal with tomorrow. But a lot of our focus is on what we're going to do and not what obviously the opposition do. We obviously think about the opposition and respect them, but we need to keep going on our form and give the players our confidence in how we're playing and what we're going to do in the game. And I feel though we're prepared in terms of the opposition, but also prepared for what we're going to face tomorrow. I'll answer the final question first. Injured players. I'm trying to think. Ayman Abdennour is trained the last 2 days, but he won't be in the squad tomorrow. It's just too early. Obviously, he had a problem with his muscles, so he's trained 2 days, so he'll be fine for next week's games. But it's probably just a little bit too early. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Bakali still has a slight problem. Still has a slight problem, so he won't be included. And maybe Sakira won't be included either, but he'll be ready for next week. He's got no problem. He trained this morning, but just separately. So I think in terms of the squad, we're in a very good position. We have everybody fit apart from 1 or 2 who are just nearly ready for next week. So we're in a good position. That was always be the case. I forgot your first question. Oh, Europa League. No, Europa League. Yeah. No, Europa League. For me, honestly, I've given no thought to the Europa League after Wednesday. After Thursday night. We have such a big program in the league this week with Malaga, with Bilbao, Malaga, and Madrid, Atletico Madrid. So from that point of view, honestly, it really goes onto the back shelf. Really, it really does. The Europa League. It has to. We have such a big week. And I think even because normally, if we were drawn against a team from European opposition, we would plan scouting, but we don't need to scout Bilbao because we're playing them on Sunday. So even that part of the planning hasn't needed to be done because we've already prepared very well for this game against Bilbao. So we know a lot about them. So we don't even need to do as much planning for the Europa League game as we would normally would do. So I have to say all our focus is on the Liga. All our focus.